Future Jackson popping in from somewhere with no microphone and a bird on his shoulder to say that this episode contains mentions of bullying and ABA therapy. If those are sensitive topics, I'll probably put a little time jump thing on the screen now for you. Have a nice day.
Alright then, lads, ladies, and those of us who know better. My name is Jackson MTT Kenny, and welcome to Bold and Bright. I've also figured out that this is the last episode that I'm going to be filming in 2023, and by the time this comes out, it'll be 2024. So that's been fun, nearly 4 years since COVID. How are we all doing with the passage of time? Some of us are dealing okay, I think. And I just want to talk about some upcoming projects I've got going on, and also just sort of sum up what 2023 has been like for me. So, first 6 months of 2023, completely wasted. Don't get mental health problems, kids. It'll completely frick with your head. Well, I guess it is kind of the definition of mental illness, but it will affect literally everything. It wasn't fun. But way back in, June, I wound up finding my little community. And I cannot believe it has been a whole 6 months. There are definitely still times where I feel like the new kid, but you know what? If any of you can find a nice safe community spot somewhere, just grab it with both hands if you can. Because, even if you don't think there's community out there for you, there is. And they'll start inviting you to potlucks after a while. And as for projects, I got a big creative boost out of Good Omens getting renewed for season 3, the Percy Jackson series coming out, all good stuff like that. And the Percy Jackson series has made me want to squeeze in a few more crochet projects, because Percy's got a jumper in the first episode that I really want, and also Mr. Brunner / Chiron. Okay, look, I know it's pronounced Brunner, but that does not sound right to me, so sorry, Brunner. Mr. Brunner has a sweater vest situation that I really like, and I've also got a January birthday, so I'm going on a yarn crawl for my birthday, which is literally it's like a pub crawl, but instead of visiting pubs, you visit just little wool shops and get fancy wool and treat yourself to nice fibers. So that is going to be great. And I've also just started what is, I would say, the most ambitious project I've ever attempted. I've done big works before. I've done a little bit of performance. I've done a lot of art. I've had a couple commissions over the years. But what I'm trying to do now is on a whole new level for me. I'll explain why in a minute. But what the project is speaking of creative boost, Epic the Musical is releasing tomorrow as of the time of filming. By the time this comes out, I will have listened to it 100 times over. I am so excited. And so far, one of my favorite songs from Epic the Musical has been Calypso's song, I'm Not Sorry for Loving You. And because the Good Omens brain rot is very, very strong, I listened to that and thought, oh my god, this sounds like a Crowley kind of song, which it does. You can probably see where this is going. So I've been wanting to make an animatic for years. Storyboarding is one of my hobbies. I love music. I've mentioned in a previous video that I wind up imagining animatics a lot and planning them but never actually making them. So I'm making an animatic situation in traditional art for I'm Not Sorry for Loving You for Good Omens. And the kicker is that while the song fits 99%, there are 1 or 2 little lyrics that I'd like to change, which means I have to cover the song. Now, I've done a bit of performance before. My school choir shut when I was 12, and I tried a choir again last year, but it kept going in a religious direction, and sorry, I've got too much religious trauma and rage in my system to sit there and sing about how cool Jesus is. Sorry! And, digging a little bit into the tragic backstory here, I got majorly bullied for being loud. I went through what I would call ABA. I know the term is ABA therapy, but frankly, autistics call it ABA torture for a reason. That stuff will fully mess you up. And in my case, the whole point of the ABA nonsense was trying to get me to be a quieter, more well-behaved kid, which I was not. Because quite frankly, when kids have complete and utter mental health breakdowns, they don't tend to be very well behaved. But what that means is that I have a very hard time just speaking freely and loudly enough. Another reason I wound up dropping out of that choir last year was because I would be in the back row and I'd open my mouth and nothing would come out, which did rattle my confidence when it kept on happening. Little known fact about me, I've actually got some kind of speech impediment where specifically I will start a sentence and then completely peter off. these podcasts take a lot of editing specifically for that reason. It's gotten a lot better now that we're on episode 8, but there are still lots of moments where I'll start a sentence and then my anxiety will kick in and the speech impediment will kick in and I'll get it into my head that I need to shut up right this second, and then there's like 20 seconds of silence, which I then have to edit out and then carry on as usual. And all of that is to say that me attempting a cover, that's hard. That is really hard. Now, I love music. I was in something like the top 9% of worldwide listeners on Spotify, apparently, according to my rewind, and that is not even counting the amount of stuff I was listening to on YouTube. So, to say that I listen to a lot of music is a bit of an understatement. I've had my Spotify account for the last 4 years, and it's something like nearly 400 songs now, and nearly 24 hours just for one playlist. That's not counting all the playlists I have. So, definitely, I work off of music. I don't plan my chores by, like, I'm going to do 10 minutes of this. Like, peeling the spuds is like an episode and a half of Welcome to Night Vale, and the other half of the episode will be, like changing the bed or whatever. And actually, right after I record this, I have to go and clean my studio, which means I'm going to be putting on even more music because, okay, fine, I might be able to clean out a cupboard as long as, like, an ABBA song or two. Yes, and a great tip for ADHD or just generally neurospicy people, just keep the music on while you're doing something. Stuff will get so much easier if it's music time instead of chore time. And before I wrap this up, I'd like to say thank you very much for everyone who supported this since I started. I've had, like, a literal phobia of technology for quite a few years, so this is so far outside my comfort zone, I can't believe it. So, yeah, the guy with the speech impediment and technophobia, or whatever the word is, sitting down in front of a computer to talk to people? Yeah, that's hard. So just going forward into 2024, which you'll already be in by the time you hear this, whatever you want to do, just do it. I saw a post from Neil Gaiman recently where someone asked him, like, okay, I want to do something, but I'm not sure if my community or fandom or whatever will like it. And he said, do it anyway. So whether or not you sing or draw or have any hobby whatsoever, just do it for yourself before anyone else. Technically, my cover and animatic are going to be submitted for a talent competition thing in February, but for me, I'm not focused on winning that. I just kind of like to have deadlines, and this is a fun chance to show something off. But first and foremost, it's a song that I like and characters that I love, in a project for me. It doesn't matter if I get a load of, achievements for this, because it's mine. And it's mine, and it's very difficult, and I am doing it anyway. I've got a badge on my battle jacket that says cried but did it anyway, and if that just doesn't sum up my whole attitude to approaching things. This is 2023 Jackson coming at you with the last outro for this year, so you can go follow me on Tumblr. You can find me at Blue Bold and Bright or Jackson MTT Kenny. Subscribe to this thing if you want to get updated. It's the wee button that says subscribe, Dad. And for the last time in 2023, I've been Jackson MTT Kenny, and this has been Bold and Bright.